So, thank you all for coming tonight. I am Ellen Holland, and I am in our Special Education District office. I work with IEP compliance and operations, and I'll let everybody else introduce themselves real quick, and then we'll get started.
My name's Ashley Brand, and I also work with the district office. My role is in IEP and compliance monitoring.
Good evening. My name is Keisha Roberts, and I also work with the district office. My role is also IEP monitoring and compliance.
I'm the only one who is not IEP monitoring and compliance. I'm Leanne Bagley, and I am an administrator in the life department, which is our adaptive side of special ed.
So, again, thank you all so much for coming. We are going to kind of give you some building blocks for academic success as it kind of relates around testing and milestones. And I think what we'll do, Ashley and Keisha, we'll just kind of each cover those sections that we developed. And so, the first thing we're going to look at is called mapping for milestones. We kind of took that mapping journey. That is, and so sorry, Leanne, didn't know you were going to be in here with us, or I would have thrown your picture up here.
Preparation, the big day. Here on this particular slide, you have the testing dates, and we were on testing dates in the last meet workshop. And this is for the EOC, and we have Thursday, April 28th for American Literature and Composition. We have Friday, April 29th for American Literature and Composition, sections 2 and 3. We also have biology. On Thursday, May 6th, we have Algebra 1. And on Friday, May 6th, we have U.S. History. And here go our testing dates continued. And this is for our younger grades. This is for the end of grade tests. And this is grades 3 to 3. Oh, I can't talk tonight. Grades 3 through 8. Monday, May 2nd, we have grades 3 through 8. And we also have the link that was given to us in our last meeting. And it has all the times, whether the time for the AM session and the time for the PM session. But we have the ELA section 1. On Tuesday, May 3rd, for grades 3 through 8, we have ELA or English Language Arts sections 2 to 3. And then on Wednesday, May 4th, we have grades 3 through 8 again for mathematics. And Thursday, May 5th, we have grade 5 for our grade 5 and 8 only for science. And then Friday, May 6th is grade 8 only, and that would be our social studies. Tips to a successful testing session before the test. Know where your testing site is. Gather testing materials. Make sure your Chromebook is in working condition. Develop a family testing plan to know who is dropping off and picking up the day of each test. Know your testing accommodations if applicable. Speak with your APOC and stay positive. If you don't know what the APOC person is, APOC is an accommodation point of contact. And your APOC contact person will be contacting you in the days before the test. Each APOC has a caseload of all the students in that particular testing center with accommodations, and they are responsible for making sure that your student at that particular testing center has all of their accommodations, and will make sure that all of the accommodations are met and the students are comfortable with their accommodations. And they will contact you prior to the test. Tips to a successful testing session the night before the test. Eat a healthy dinner. Pack your testing materials. Make sure your Chromebook is charged and you bring your charger with you. Get a good night's rest with at least 8 or more hours of sleep. Listen to calm and relaxing music and stay positive. Tips to successful testing session morning of the test. Oh, I'm biting my nails already. Wake up early and take a warm shower. Eat a healthy breakfast. Wear comfortable clothes. Arrive at the testing center early. Please allow time for traffic, especially Atlanta traffic. Do not forget your Chromebook and charger. And once again, stay positive.
All right, so testing day, what to do during the test. So, on testing day, we want you to boost your brain power. We want you to breathe. Remember to take calming breaths every few minutes. We want you to fidget. You can make subtle movements in your chair. You can roll your wrists. You can point and flex your feet, roll your shoulders back and forth. Those are lots of easy things you can do that aren't super distracting, just quietly at your desk while you're taking your test to kind of ease anxiety and the length of the test, having to sit for so long. So, with that, we also want you to remember to keep good posture. You want to keep your back straight and place both your feet flat on the floor. Avoid slouching to keep from feeling stiff or tired during your exam. And then the next thing we want you to do is just relax. We want you to read the question carefully and then reread the problem to find the right answer. We want you to examine. Examine every answer choice before you choose your answer. We want you to label your answer in the passage or the problem. We want you to always check your work, and then you can X out answers that could not possibly be found as correct answers. And so all of these tools are things that you can do in the practice using some of the links that were provided in the earlier session. And then we will give those to you again as well, the links to practice, but it will give you all those tools. And so your student can go through and practice labeling, marking out, and using the different tools that are available on the milestones. So, practicing for the test. So, we want you to map your success. It's very important for our students to practice before the big day, to be familiar with the testing site, the Georgia Milestones site on the internet, and how to navigate that site. We don't want it to be the first time that they've seen it. We want them to be very familiar and very comfortable with it so that when they come in with confidence and they're ready to show what they know. So here's the practice site for our students to just get ahead of the curve, see what the testing experience is like, and using that Milestones online experience, which is through the DOE. So Ellen, I think this is you. I think I hand it over to you now. If not, I can keep going.
It's in my microphone. It kept moving on me, but yes. So we definitely want you to practice this. And I was going to try and share, but that didn't work really well. The site was not being super successful. But if you type in Georgia Online Milestones Practice, it'll bring you to that page that you just saw, and you just simply check the test practice button, which then brings up this big screen. You take that test practice, which then brings you to a choice where you're going to do end of grade or end of course. And so if you are third through eighth grade, you want to choose this green one that says end of grade. If you are a high school, or if you are an eighth grader that will also be taking an end of course, go ahead and choose that blue one. Once you click that, you also it'll bring up this screen. You have to click the white letters again. It doesn't tell you to, but it'll just bring that screen up. Just click those white letters. And when you do that, it brings up what your standard tools, And then you have audio, color contrast, and color chooser. If your student has a color overlay, that would give you that information, video sign language, and then technology enhanced items as well. And that's going to be your reading and test questions and then some of the other items that they have access to. But you definitely want them to practice. It has those crossouts. It has that masking where it helps the student read, where it blocks out parts of it so they're not having as hard a time reading across the screen. So you see standard online tools. Everyone has access to those. Open it up, play around. Number 2, the audio color chooser, color contrast. That's your oral reading and test questions. And remember, you'll see where it says oral reading of passages. That is only for students that are complete non-readers. So that's a very rare accommodation, and that is for only students that are considered non-readers. If they can read, even if it's well below grade level, they are still considered a reader. And then you also will see sign language, and then you have pointer, cross off, highlighter, sticky note, and magnifier that are available to everybody. It gives you your login information, and it'll show you log in with Georgia HS, and this is the end of course one. And then it'll give you your password. It just tells you, and you just type that right in, and then it will open up that. This talks about what all your standard tools are. It gives you an example of what they all are. Again, we recommend going in and playing with this site just to get them used to it, especially if you have a third grader. You definitely want to let them get in here and play with it while you're there to help support them. And even some of our fourth and fifth graders may not have had this experience yet. So make sure they get in there and they play with this. Again, this walks you through all your standard tools. The line guide, it helps track a single line of text. Calculators. Now, you will see a calculator for some grade levels. Third through fifth, you may have an accommodation of a grade level, but that's not a standard tool. For those upper grades, that becomes a standard tool. And so you would have to have that accommodation already in their student's plan, and they need to have been using it. It's not something that we can just add, oh, that might help them out. It would make it easier. It has to be something that they've used all year. They have graphing tools and then references. We were going to try the demo. We put that other in there in case it wasn't going to work. We're going to skip that just for time. So that's the end of what we were going to present. Does anybody have any questions? Is there anything we can answer that's not student specific? We don't want to answer any student specific questions, but we're more than glad to help answer some of those general questions. If you have a specific question about your student's plan or your accommodation, we would ask that you reach out to your student's case manager.
What was the name of the website?
It is, let me see if I can grab it. So it is, so I look at what I have typically done is just Google online practice. Oh, come on, copy over. There you go. I put that in chat. You can see it. But if you Google Milestones online practice, it normally comes up as well. And then I know that some of the teachers will bring this up in class and walk the kids through and do some practice within class with some of our lower grades. If you have something that may not relate to testing, but you just have a general question, you're welcome to ask that as well. You're welcome to stay in here and we'll talk with you. We've got about another 25 minutes, or if you need to jump into one of the other school levels, feel free to do that. Or if you're just having difficulty getting from one breakout room to the other, let us know and we'll help you out.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I have a question. My
Yes,
child is
ma'am.
in special education. Now, what happens if my child does not pass the test?
So it is possible that your child may or may not pass the test. It is a metric that's used with promotion and retention decisions. However, students with an IEP, that is, the IEP team will meet and review that. So it now, and what age level is your student? Is your student 3 through 8, or are they 9 through 12?
Ninth grade.
I'm sorry, it cut out. I apologize.
Okay,
Can you
sure. He's in the fifth grade.
Fifth grade? Okay. So that would be, once we get those scores back, typically they set up meetings and the IEP team meets and looks at that promotion retention decision. If you have a student that's 9 through 12, are we back to 20% of the grade this year, y'all?
Man, I can't hear.
It does. So if you have a ninth through 12th grader, it's calculated into a portion of their final grade. But third through eighth, that would be discussed in an IEP team decision with all the other data surrounding your student, with the IEP team to make a promotion or retention decision.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Sure. Sharon, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, hello, ladies.
Hi.
Why is it so high, 20% of their grade?
That was mandated at the state level. Because at one point they lowered it during COVID, but that is set up through the state.
So, my son lives with autism and ADHD, and it's a strong possibility that he might not pass the test. What do we need to do throughout the year to make sure it doesn't affect their grades?
So my recommendation is that ninth through 12th, it's only calculated into the second semester grade. So one of the biggest things you can do is work to get that second semester grade as high as possible. And there was a point I knew exactly what that number was, but I think it's between 80 to 85%. You can basically get no points for your end of course and still pass. I'd have to do the math on it, but it's going to be close. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody get 0 points. Even I don't think I've ever seen that.
Thank you.
So I recommend working with your student to work within that class to get that grade as high as you can. Anybody else have any questions? Or Miss Sharon, do you have any other questions?